Hey everyone, welcome back to VoxQueue. Today we've got some wild ones. Grab a drink, settle in, and let's get into it. Quick note, names are changed for privacy. She moved into my apartment temporarily. 6 months later, I realized I didn't live there anymore. So I'm 29. I work from home, quiet job, quiet life. My girlfriend, I'll call her Nina, lost her lease when her roommate moved out unexpectedly. She asked if she could stay just for a few weeks. I said yes. First red flag, she didn't ask what weeks meant. Week 1 was fine. She was grateful. Cooked dinner, thanked me, said, "You're saving me." Week 3, she started rearranging furniture. I came out of my office and my desk was moved. I said, "Hey, why's my desk against the wall?" She shrugged. "The energy flows better this way." I laughed. "It's my office." She smiled. "It's our space now." That word, our, started showing up everywhere. Our couch, our groceries, our bed, except the rent was still very much mine. One night, I said, "Have you thought about apartment hunting?" She sighed. "You're not trying to kick me out already, are you?" "I'm not kicking you out, I just thought this was temporary." She went quiet, cold quiet. "You said I could stay," she replied. "I did, but we didn't talk about how long." She crossed her arms. "So now there's a timer?" This is where I missed it. Boundary erosion disguised as vulnerability. Instead of clarifying, I backed down. "No, I just want us to have a plan." She nodded slowly. "I feel unwanted." That became her move. Whenever I brought up logistics, she reframed it emotionally. I'd say, "Can we split utilities?" She'd say, "I can't believe you're nickel and diming me when I'm struggling." I'd say, "I need my office layout back." She'd say, "So I'm disrupting your life?" At one point, I opened the fridge and half the shelves were labeled. Her handwriting. "Don't touch. Meal prep. Reserved." I stared at it. I asked, "Are we roommates now?" She said, "Is that what you want?" Conversation always flipped. Then the escalation. I came home one Friday and there were 2 strangers in my living room. "Hey," Nina called. "This is Kelsey and Mark. They're crashing here this weekend." I blinked. "They're what?" "It's just 2 nights." I didn't ask. "It's not a big deal. It's my apartment." She rolled her eyes. "You keep saying that like I'm a guest." That hit. Psychological pattern here. Narrative reversal. She slowly reframed ownership as selfishness. Later that night, I said, "We need to talk about timeline. I'm serious." She said, "Okay, so you want me out." "I want clarity." "Same thing." "No, it's not." She stared at me and said, "If you loved me, you wouldn't make me feel temporary." That sentence stuck in my head. If you loved me. It wasn't about logistics anymore, it was a loyalty test. 2 weeks later, I noticed something else. She had changed the Wi-Fi password. I found out because I got disconnected mid-call. I walked into the living room. "Did you change the password?" She didn't look up from her phone. "Yeah, the old one was insecure." "What's the new one?" "She'll send it." She didn't. That night, I checked the router. She had renamed the network to Nina's Place. I wish I was kidding. That was the moment it clicked. This wasn't temporary, this was a quiet takeover. I sat down with her and said, calmly, "You need to move out within 30 days. She froze. "So you're abandoning me?" "No, I'm re-establishing boundaries." Her voice got sharp. "After everything I've been through?" "I didn't cause what you went through. You're supposed to support me." "I am, not indefinitely." She stood up. "You're just like everyone else." That was the gaslighting pivot. Shift blame, invoke comparison, create guilt. But here's the consequence. She didn't just argue, she told our mutual friends I threw her out. Group chat lit up. "Dude, what happened? Why would you do that?" "She said you blindsided her." I posted one message. She moved in temporarily. 6 months later, she invited guests without asking and changed my Wi-Fi name. Silence. Receipts matter. She left, angry, loud, dramatic. But the real fallout? I realized how easily I let someone rewrite my own space because I didn't want to look cruel. Boundary lesson number 1: if you don't define terms, someone else will. If you thought that was messy, this one's about a birthday party that turned into a loyalty tribunal. I'm 32. My older sister Lauren has always needed to be the center of every event. Weddings, graduations, even funerals. Somehow she redirects the spotlight. This time it was my birthday. I kept it simple. Backyard dinner, close friends, parents. Lauren offered to help coordinate. That should have been my warning. 3 days before she called. So I added a few people. Who? Just some of my friends. They're fun. It's my birthday. Yeah, and I want it to be lively. I paused. I don't know them. You'll love them. That wasn't a suggestion. Day of the party, I walk outside. There are 25 people. I invited 12. I whispered, "Lauren, what is this?" She smiled brightly. "Surprise, I upgraded you." Upgraded me. Music blasting, decorations I didn't pick, a banner that said, "Lauren and Jake Birthday Bash." Jake is her dog. I stared at the banner. "You put your dog's name on my birthday sign?" She laughed. "It's funny." It wasn't. Midway through dinner, she clinked a glass. Speech time. I hadn't planned speeches. She said, "Let's talk about how hard this year has been, for both of us." For both of us? She proceeded to recount her breakup in detail. "This year taught me resilience," she said, wiping fake tears. "Jake really stepped up for me." People looked confused. I finally said, "Lauren, this isn't about you." The music stopped. She blinked. "Wow, I just wanted one night." She folded her arms. "I spent money on this. I didn't ask you to. So now I'm the villain?" No one said that, but she needed someone too. Psychological pattern here. Image control through public positioning. She engineered the event so calling her out would make me look ungrateful. Then she said the quiet part out loud. "You're embarrassing me." I laughed. "I'm embarrassing you? It's my birthday." "You're being dramatic." There it is, emotional minimization. I said calmly, "I asked for something small. You turned it into your show." She turned to the crowd. "See, he's attacking me." No one moved. My friend Aaron said, "Lauren, we're here for him." She went silent. Then she grabbed the mic again. "If anyone feels uncomfortable, you can leave." Half her friends left. That's when I noticed something else. She had set up a photographer. Every picture was staged with her in the center, not one solo photo of me. Receipts moment. Next morning, she posted an album captioned, "Family always supports each other." There I was, in the background of my birthday. So I commented, "Thanks for hosting Jake's party at my house." That comment got 200 likes. She called me furious. "You humiliated me. You co-opted my birthday. You didn't appreciate what I did. I didn't ask you to do it. You're selfish." This is the loyalty trap. If you reject the performance, you reject the person. Fallout? My parents called, told me to apologize. For peace. I said no. First time in my life, I didn't smooth it over. We didn't talk for 3 months, and weirdly, it was peaceful. Boundary lesson number 2. Not every loud gesture is generosity. Sometimes it's branding. But this last one, this one is strategic. I worked at a small marketing firm. My manager, I'll call him Eric, believed in team culture, which meant blurred lines. He'd text at 11 p.m. "Quick tweak on the deck? Can you jump on a call?" First time I didn't respond immediately, he messaged, "Everything okay?" I replied, "Yeah, just offline for the night." He said, "We're a high-performance team." Translation, always available. Psychological pattern. Control disguised as care. During review season, he said, "You're talented, but sometimes I question your commitment," because I logged off at 6. Then came the client pitch. I built the entire strategy, weeks of work. Night before the presentation, he said, I'll lead, you support. I didn't argue. In the meeting, he presented my slides without once mentioning my name. Client said, "Brilliant framework." He replied, "We worked hard on it." We. Afterward, I said, "You didn't credit me." He smiled. "Don't be transactional." Transactional. As if recognition was petty. Then I found something interesting. In the internal Slack thread, he told the CEO I had to rework most of it. He didn't. Receipts moment. I screenshotted everything. 2 weeks later, promotion decisions. Guess who didn't get it? Me. Feedback. Leadership presence needs development. I asked, what does that mean? It's about ownership. Ownership. The irony. Here's where it escalates. Instead of confronting him privately, I scheduled a meeting with HR and attached the Slack logs. In the meeting, I said calmly, "I want clarity on attribution. Here are timestamps." Eric shifted in his chair. "That's out of context." "Is it?" HR asked him directly, "Did you state you reworked the deck?" He said, "It was collaborative." I said, "Here are version histories." Silence. This wasn't emotional, it was surgical. He tried one more move. "You're damaging team morale." Classic reputation management defense. Frame accountability as betrayal. I replied, "I'm asking for transparency." HR opened an investigation. Outcome? He didn't get fired, but he was removed from leading pitches. And 2 months later, I got promoted under a different director. Fallout? He stopped speaking to me. Teams split into camps. But here's the deeper consequence. Other colleagues started coming forward with similar screenshots. It wasn't just me. He had built a pattern of credit parasitism, harvesting work, minimizing contributors. Once exposed, the illusion cracked. Boundary lesson number 3. Documentation beats emotion in power imbalance systems. All 3 stories look different on the surface. A partner overstaying, a sister hijacking identity publicly, a manager stealing credit for career leverage. But the through line is the same. Imbalance thrives where boundaries stay vague. Story 1 was intimate space invasion, narrative reversal turning ownership into cruelty. Story 2 was social dominance, image control weaponized publicly. Story 3 was institutional, power imbalance masked as culture. Escalation scale, private apartment, family circle, corporate structure. Each time the villain relied on reframing. You're selfish, you're dramatic, you're disloyal. Notice the pattern? Accountability was reframed as aggression. That's the core tactic. Gaslighting, image management, control disguised as support. And in every case, the shift happened when the protagonist stopped negotiating emotionally and started asserting clarity. Clear timeline, clear statement, clear documentation. So here's the question for you. Who crossed the line the most? The partner who slowly took over space? The sister who hijacked identity publicly? Or the boss who manipulated credit for career leverage? Different scale, different stakes, same imbalance. This is VoxQueue, and around here, we don't just read the drama, we break it down. I want to know, who crossed the line the most? Drop your take below. I read all of them. I'll see you in the next one.